What's going on, family? Welcome to another episode of the Seez Monroe Show. I am your host, and today we're going to be talking about a few things. We're going to be talking about Aldris Hodge and him being cast as Black Panther in the new Black Panther 3 film. We're going to talk about Superman, and we're also going to talk about Captain America Brave New World box office predictions. All right? All that plus more on the Seez Monroe Show. Now, all in all, I know you guys are getting tired of me talking about Disney and this Marvel mistakes. You're going to be saying things like, go get a job at Disney, and maybe one day I will. But right now, I'm just going to be here, this guy angry on YouTube complaining about it. Marvel is one of those things that I grew up with that I hold close to my heart, right? There was some of the things that you just remember, like the Wolverine toys that I had growing up, the Spider-Man cartoon, in the 90s, X-Men, those type of things they sit here. Blade, when you see those things and you reminisce on them, you're just like, the script is there, guys. Why are we messing this up? Not the script, the plot. You get what I'm saying here. With Black Panther, this is about 5-6 years ago. We said that this was going to happen. We knew that this was going to happen, guys. You should have got ahead of it. Recast T'Challa. It was about 5 years ago, because I believe Chadwick Boseman passed around 2020, February, somewhere around there. I could be wrong. Go do the research on your own. But for the most part, we were worried about the legacy of Black Panther. Again, that character, with all due respect, I'm not saying it as far as like a person, an emotion. As far as Chadwick Boseman, of course, his family took a major loss there. That doesn't mean that we should lose this character because the actual actor died. My man that played Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross, he's gone. Now Harrison Ford is playing him. And I don't think that was the best casting decision, but I feel like Harrison Ford owes Disney a favor for Indiana Jones. There was a lot of money put into that movie, and that movie didn't make half of what it was budgeted at. So that's neither here nor there. All in all, I just feel like Disney is not listening to the people until it's too late, right? That's what a lot of companies, what they do. They go out there, they make a decision, and it's a terrible decision. Not listening to anybody. They just go forward and say, forget what these guys are saying. The people that's coming to see these movies, the people that's paying their $10 at the movie theater, New York, California, so probably a lot more over there, but that's neither here nor there. Their decisions are being made off of financial situations, and they want to milk this cow as long as possible. And what they need to understand is, for them to milk this cow as long as possible, you should try listening to the fan base. I'm pretty sure that there was a couple of people stating that Black Panther didn't need to be recast. The importance of Black Panther, they're just as simple as he was, I want to say, the only main black superhero that had a comic book movie, a solo film at the time, especially for Marvel. So just think about that. And then on top of that, that movie made like $700 million in the US, over $1.3 billion overall. That movie in 2019 made more than Infinity War in America. People need to look at those numbers. Go back, do the research. I've checked. Those type of things should have told you, hey, maybe we should take this a little more seriously. They even dropped Black Panther in February because they didn't feel like it was going to do much. I believe the budget of the film was like $180 million, somewhere around there. I could be wrong. Just double check on that. They didn't have a lot of faith in it. Because I remember when the projections came out, the first week was like, it's going to do about 40, 50 million at box office. Then it went from 40, 50 to 60. Then it went from 60 to 80. Then it went from 80 to 120. That movie ended up doing $240 million over the opening weekend. We're not going to get that with Captain America Brave New World, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. When we talk about recasting this character, the importance of recasting this character, just off of storylines alone, would have saved you guys and made you guys millions, hundreds of millions maybe, right? The second Black Panther film did about $800 million. That could have easily crossed the $1 billion mark if the character was recast. I get what they were trying to do. They were trying to push the timeline. The problem is Shuri doesn't become Black Panther. She doesn't take on the mantle of Black Panther until a later date. Like, it didn't even make sense for it to happen at that time. Like, there's so many other characters in this movie that could have taken over and did something for Wakanda at the time. Her taking the mantle of Black Panther didn't add up and didn't make sense to the lore of the character, if that makes sense, right? So we're here, 2025, we're looking to recast T'Challa. The problem is, this is not the T'Challa that we know. This is supposed to be a multiversal T'Challa. So he's a T'Challa from another universe. This is going to be a problem. Why? Because I don't think they're going to take this T'Challa very seriously. There's going to be a quick one-off character that they're going to use for a couple of films, within a couple of films. And I think that's pretty much going to be it. What I think they should do, oh, by the way, what they're really going to do is use this character until they give enough time between movies. So maybe another 3 years, 4 years to make another Black Panther film, because Black Panther 3 should be coming out in the next year or two. For them to make another Black Panther film, so his son that was in Black Panther 2 would be old enough to take on the mantle at this time. Of course, you're going to fast forward time a little bit, but you get the gist. They're having problems recasting this character because they know the problems that they're about to run into. No major actor wants to take on this role. And the guys that they're trying to get to take on this role, I just feel like it was a kick in the face. Like John Boyega. John Boyega don't even fuck with Disney right now, just off of how they treated him with Star Wars alone. So just imagine him coming back to work with them because they need him right now. It didn't make sense, and on top of that, I just feel like the character doesn't fit John Boyega. If you guys are going to cast John Boyega into something, I feel like he should be the next Blade. But that's another conversation for another time. Then they try to get my man Idris, what's his last name? Not Alba. Idris Damson from Snowfall. They're just being disrespectful at this point. My man John David Washington, which I said he should have been the top runner to be recast as T'Challa when we wanted T'Challa recast in the first place. So that could have worked out very well, especially at that time. So that one, I give them credit on that. The guy that I see now that they're like really looking into him, Eldris Hodge. He played Hawkman. He was just on one of the best series I've seen in a very long time. I want to say it was just phenomenal, start to finish. The Cross series on Amazon Prime. If you guys haven't checked that out, go check it out. This is not an ad. Do yourself a favor. Look at that show. It's phenomenal. So Eldris Hodge, they're looking at him to be the new Black Panther. And with the DCEU failing, so he can't go back and be Hawkman, he can easily run into this role. So I feel like that's a good fit. They should definitely do it. I just want him to not overdo it. Because what can happen is you start doing the accents and things of that nature, and it gets weird because it's not like you're trying to be T'Challa at this point. You're trying to be Chadwick Boseman as he's being T'Challa. And I don't want that to happen. So that's the worry that I have right now. I didn't have that worry at first for the recasting because I felt like not enough time has settled from 2018 when Black Panther was released to 2020 when Chadwick Boseman passed for that character, the way he is, to settle in. Now I just feel like it's a little bit different. This is the only Black Panther we've known since, so there you go. But go ahead, let me know what you think about that, guys. Eldris Hodge as the new Black Panther. Go ahead and leave your thoughts down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Let's get into the next topic. So I was watching the John Campea show. It's not that he does a show, it's like After Dark or something like that. And he was just discussing Superman and how he's worried about it. I said that when I first seen the trailer. And I told you guys this from the beginning. It didn't look like a good trailer. The problem with us as fanboys, as the geek culture, we love this shit. Like, we love comics. We love everything about it. It's corny. It's fun. It's safe, right? That's the type of world we like to be in. Hey, this is going to be the greatest thing ever. Problem is, we don't look at reality. And sometimes I'm not going to say we don't. We forget to look at reality. Looking at that film, it didn't take me to a spot where I believe that this film is going to make $1 billion at the box office. I don't think this film is going to make $800 million at the box office. We have to go back and look at history. Look at Man of Steel. Look at the Superman films from before. Look at Superman Returns. So I believe Superman Returns was the last film we had before Man of Steel. Batman v Superman. Now, granted, Batman v Superman wasn't great, so I get why that didn't do as good. And I just remember that came out in 2016. It was around March, and it made like $800 million in its first week and a half or 2 weeks or something like that. And then the numbers just never moved again because the movie, everybody came to see it. It was a one-off. If a movie is good, people will come and pay that money to see it again. So instead of getting $10, you're getting $20 from that same person. So instead of getting $100 from a family, you're getting $200 from that family because they want to see it again. And they want to enjoy these movies while it's on a big screen, 40-foot screens and Dolby Atmos surround sound. So this is what you're selling. This is what you're getting at. You're selling an experience. And then you turn around and you create something that's just like hacky. Like Superman shouldn't look nowhere near how Suicide Squad looked. This last, the James Gunn Suicide Squad. It just shouldn't, right? The budget shouldn't be the same. It shouldn't be around the same budgets. It should just be different. And the way it looked very, it goes back to what I was just saying about Aldous Hodge. Him being Chadwick Boseman, trying to be Chadwick Boseman being Black Panther, pretty much. And that's what this Superman trailer reminded me of. It was James Gunn making a Superman movie, trying to be like the original Superman movies with like Christopher Reeves and things of that nature. Corny stuff to look at back in the day. But again, the reason why it worked back in the day, we didn't have anything like that back then. So I'm saying we like I was born, but you get my point. So with that, I just feel like we should be worried about that. That's it. If this film isn't good, it doesn't look good, first and foremost. But if this film is not good, it's not going to draw a good box office return. I'm just letting you guys know that now. Look for the red flags. Look for it comes out in July. We should get another. We're going to see some commercials during Super Bowl, but if we don't, that means the Warner Brothers doesn't believe in it. And if we don't get a second trailer around April, I'm going to just go ahead and say that that's when you should start worrying a little bit more. We're going to get a third trailer around late May, early June, which going to give people they're going to give you a little bit more than what they gave you in the first two trailers. And if they give you too much, they know that the movie is going to fail. Pretty much. That's what it's going to be. And the last telltale sign, the review embargo. So normally with superhero films, you will get a review embargo a week or two before, especially if it's like one of those big, what's the word I'm looking for? Like top tier, out of this world superhero films or just a good acting film. You'll hear about it a week in advance as far as the critics talking about it. If they say the review embargo doesn't lift until 24 hours before the film releases, then that's the telltale sign of we're not in good shape here. A lot of people, the thing is with Warner Brothers though, they're a little tricky. The reason why I say this is because they'll pay to have their film reviewed in a good light. I'm not going to say I've seen it firsthand, but I've seen a movie and I've seen their reviews and those reviews just don't match up. And again, with reviews, 9 times out of 10 is people saying, I liked the film, I didn't like the film. And out of 100 people stating that they liked the film, out of 100 people, 9 of them stating that they liked the film, highly unlikely. Like, it has to be a top tier film. Like, trying to think of something that had a 9 out of 10 review. Like, that's how difficult it is. It's not an everyday thing. Like, Get Out, I want to say it had one of the top tier reviews. Like, it was something different. Nobody has seen this before. It was smart. It was edgy. It had horror elements. It had comedy elements. It was just like a perfect film all the way through, right? It was like a perfect thriller. Not a thriller. I would consider it a thriller. But like one of those films. So if these movies that come out, like, I'm trying to think of the movie that I'm thinking about. I'm going to talk about it the next time. You guys have to remind me. I have to bring it up the next show. Because there was a film, it was just so bad, and then I looked at the reviews, and they were just the greatest thing ever. I want to say it was like Wonder Woman, not Wonder Woman 1984. It was, I want to say it was the first Wonder Woman, but I could be wrong. So that's that. But again, I don't think it's going to be great. Hopefully I'm wrong. I pray that I'm wrong, but unfortunately, I've been hitting these things on the head so often. There's only so much wiggle room with me. I'm that guy. But tell me what you guys think. Go ahead, leave it in the comments down below. Do you think Superman is going to be a good film? It might be a good film. Do you think that it's going to be a terrible film? Because I'm in the middle. Like The Flash, I felt like was a bad film. Like, I would watch it again, but I wouldn't want to watch it again. Like, if we're in a family setting and it's like, oh man, throwing a movie in the background while we're playing cards or playing Monopoly, like, I wouldn't pick The Flash. Like, I would honestly find another film. Like, that's how. I'm not saying it's a terrible film, but it's pretty bad. If you're just looking at it, it's a bad film. All right? So that's my thoughts on that. Let's get into the last topic of the day. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Real quick, I wanted to bring up TikTok because I just seen that a lot of people were upset that TikTok got taken away for like 12 hours or something like that. And something was worked out with Trump and China. Shout out to Trump, by the way. Welcome to the office again. Congratulations. He deserves it. All right. But with TikTok coming back, I want you guys to know a few things. Again, I look into a lot of these things because, one, I don't have a TikTok. I never did. It just, I knew that it was just something fishy about the app, and hence why Trump was trying to get rid of it a while ago, but again, he wasn't in office at the time. When it comes to content creators, I'm not stating that, how do I say this? I'm trying to be politically correct here. When it comes to content creation, when it comes to these apps, I'm just going to say in general, when it comes to these apps in general, what happens is they get the culture behind it. There's a lot of people that look like me that make these apps pop. Right? Make these apps popular. And after we do that, we don't get any recognition from it. And they push us to the side because they've already grown the app so much, and they put all these other people that they want to put in front of the app, and they push the app that way. And the thing is, with TikTok, I knew it was going to happen because it happened with every other app. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, you name it, right? I want to say YouTube is a little bit different because I'm not sure. I want to say YouTube is different. So what came up was all these content creators on this app, the numbers were crazy, so on and so forth. With me, I look at a lot of analytics. So even with YouTube, I pay attention to all the details. Every minute that's watched, every view that's counted, where the view was counted at, just everything. So when it came to people having 1 million views, right? And if we walk in a mall and nobody from that mall knows who this person is, how likely did that person get 1 million views? Is very minuscule. And again, yes, there's 8 billion people in the world, but 8 billion people aren't using this app. So that's not a real trajectory. That's not how you can detailed things, if that makes sense. That's just me and my analytical brain. This is how I think. So going back to numbers, when it comes to YouTube, this is why I look at things and I break things down. I know a lot of my videos get a lot of views when I'm talking about a hot topic. A lot of the time, I don't like talking about hot topics. Why? Because a lot of the time, when I talk about hot topics, I need someone to bounce that hot topic off of, because I don't want to just come through with my rhetoric. I want to have a conversation about it, because I could be completely wrong about the situation. And I have no problem stating that. But what I do want to have is good dialogue. And I don't want anybody to get on this platform, see what I'm talking about, and feel that I'm pushing them to think a certain way and I'm not allowing anybody else to speak or spew any other rhetoric because it's my channel. So that's why I like to bounce things off of. When it comes to this movie shit, though, there's a lot of things that I don't care about what other people think. I don't mind having a conversation, but at the same time, I feel like I've done this long enough. Like, I've been going to the movies solo, since I was 11, 12 years old. I would literally take a bus to the movie theater and sit up there all day watching movies. That was what I did, because I just loved movies. So that was just for you guys to just understand where I'm coming from when it comes to film. I look at everything, I see everything, and I think about things differently. So when I see a film come out and everybody's like, oh, this is the greatest film, and I'm like, oh, is it though? Because this film is, if that's the case, why don't you look at this film over here? That's where those talks come from. So when it comes to, going back to TikTok, when it comes to situations like that app, again, what I see happening in the next couple of months or so, since it's back up, the content creators are going to see their numbers dwindle, because they're going to be, there's farms out there that make things hot. Again, they know that you getting a like on your post is dopamine for you, so you're going to keep posting. So they give you that, they feed you, because you need to be fed that, right? What's going to happen is those numbers are going to dwindle, because we're going to want to see real numbers, and that company is going to be co-owned by the U.S. and it's going to be either co-owned or it's going to go public, pretty much, and you're going to see the people that buy into it. So just look for it to go public very soon. I see it coming now. TikTok is going to be on the stock exchange. That's just how it's going to go. This is business at the end of the day. This is what we do. All right. So that's my TikTok talk. I didn't really want to get into that, but I just seen that, and that was kind of something that I wanted to let you guys know about, why that stuff was happening. It was more so ownership. People said it was the spy thing. Let's be honest, guys. People can spy on you with any of these apps, but they do own the database. They own the service. So wherever they are, they can dial it up a bit. So it could be doing something on that, but are they? They probably aren't, but I'm just saying that it is a possibility. They have the capabilities to do this, but they have the capabilities to do this with any app. So I just want you guys to think about that. But let's get into our final topic of the day. We're going to be talking about Captain America, Brave New World. Captain America, Brave New World. This film I don't think you guys understand the importance of this film. When was the last Marvel film, the last MCU film you saw that catered to anything that was going on in the MCU in game on? Nothing. We had Shang-Chi. We had Black Widow, which was a prequel. So that came before Infinity War and Endgame, chronologically, came after that. The Marvels, I feel like I'm missing something. Shang-Chi, Black Widow, what's that movie? Guardians of the Galaxy, The Marvels. I feel like there was something. Oh, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. None of that connected. None of those movies connected from Endgame on. We didn't know what the hell was going on. We just didn't get what was happening. So we're trying to connect these things, and they're trying to make it work, but Marvel is making, I don't know if they have like the worst HR team out there, but they're just making decisions at a whim, like, hey, Jonathan Majors just got charged, fire him. And it's like, are we thinking about what we have to do in this? Like, yes, everybody is replaceable, but how difficult is it going to be to replace this guy? Should probably think about that. Oh, he's going to think about, if you're worried about the fans or anybody that will have a problem with them, 9 times out of 10, those are people that are not seeing your movies regardless, so you shouldn't even be worried about them. And if you're worried about box office numbers, your movies are dwindling at box office. So again, taking that shot, Johnny Depp has shown you guys. Who else? Hell, Robert Downey Jr. has shown you guys. And again, granted, it wasn't under you guys, but at the time, I'm just saying, read the room. You got rid of this guy, now you have to make up for this. And that's the part of the problem. Like with Marvel, Disney makes these decisions at a whim, except for the Black Panther thing. I felt like that was talked about a lot before they finally made a decision. And that movie, Black Panther 2, could have been 10 times better than what it was. It was an okay film, but it would have worked a lot better if they would have recast T'Challa. And with this situation, recasting Jonathan Majors would have worked a lot better versus what they're doing, because they did reshoots for Captain America Brave New World about 6-7 different times. This film has lost directors. They've changed the film completely. It's just, it's horrific, and I'm worried about this film. Not only that, this film is also stated to come out Super Bowl weekend. So the majority of the money from this film is going to come on Friday and Saturday. Thursday premieres, Friday and Saturday. You might get some action during the day on Sunday, but I just don't see that happening. That's just not how, in history and working in the film industry, box office, like Super Bowl day is just not a box office draw. Now, granted, there aren't big movies released during Super Bowl weekends, but Super Bowl Sunday is definitely like dead at the theater. So I just feel like they at times, like one of my homies, she said they're setting Captain America up to fail. And when I'm looking at these things, like I feel she might be right on this situation. Like at every which way I turn is like, yeah, we're doing reshoots, but they're doing reshoots to change some things and make it better and make it fit. And hopefully that worked. And then it's, all right, the runtime. The runtime was like 2 hours and 30 minutes, and now it's 1 hour and 58, less than 2 hours. So, and then we're releasing it on Valentine's Day, which is great, but it's Super Bowl weekend. And it's like, damn, like it's just so much going against this film, and I'm just worried about it. But right now, it's projected to do about 86 million opening weekend. I don't see it doing 86 million opening weekend, but it is opening in China, so that's a big deal. Why is that a big deal? A lot of the last couple of Marvel films just didn't open overseas, so that's going to help a little bit with box office numbers. But other than that, man, I think we're going to be in that $75 million mark with Captain America Brave New World. Let's mark that down. So 75 million is what I'm gauging Brave New World to be. So about $11 million less, maybe $16 million less. Like it's going to take a hit. Like that Sunday is important to a box office number. So, and unless they didn't factor that in when they did the budgets, if they're saying that it's going to make 86 million Friday and Saturday, squash Sunday, I don't see that either. So like in that case, they're stating that this film was going to make like 110 mil opening weekend, 120 million opening weekend, and I just don't see it. But, and on top of that, I feel like they gave us, by this point, you've given us all you got as far as the trailer without just giving us the damn movie at this point. So I don't see them releasing another trailer at this point in time. We're like at the end of January. think we should just ride out with these trailers, do a big marketing push, and hopefully, if the movie is good, it's going to get a lot of word of mouth, and people are going to come see it that second weekend. But right now, I'm just worried about that first weekend. I'm stating it, $70 to $75 million. I don't see it going anything over that at all. So we're going to see. Let me know your thoughts down below. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. I'll see y'all next week for the Seez Monroe Show. I appreciate y'all as always. Peace.